You've got to help me! My sleigh broke down and I need help!
Please don't hurt me, sir. Here's my wallet. There's $2.50 in cash. Just take it.
I don't want your money! I need a hand! Here, help me!
Get away from me, crazy homeless man!
Don't run away! I know who you are! I'll put you on the naughty list, Fred! There's gotta be someone around here that can help me. Is that who I think it is? Oh, that's Pterodactyl! I must have crashed down in Podunk. Oh, he'll be able to help me. Christmas is saved.
Santa, you scared me. It's Christmas Eve. Shouldn't you be out delivering the children's presents? What are you doing here in Podunk?
That's why I'm here, Taryl. My 25 horsepower crawler stopped working, and I need somebody to look at it. Nobody in town can help me.
25 horse crawler? I thought reindeer powered your sleigh.
Ha ha ha. Come on, Taryl. We both know that reindeer can't power the entire sleigh. That's where the 25 horsepower crawler comes in.
25 horse crawler, huh? Yeah, parts are going to be kind of hard to come by, being Christmas Eve and all. Plus, I'm kind of busy at the shop, and we got a storm coming in. I'm trying to get this snowblower tractor going, and I don't know, Santa. I don't know if I'm going to be able to help you.
You know, Taryl, Junior made it to the nice list this year, but I can't say the same for you.
What? What are you talking about? I'm nice.
Well, you've been riding the S-Man pretty hard this year, but I think maybe if you can help me with my sleigh, I might be able to switch you over to the nice list in time for you to still get a present.
All right. I'm nice. Where's this sleigh at?
It's stashed over here in the woods. Come on, follow me.
Pterodactyl here, and today's how-to video is going to be on how to replace a governor gear on one of these here Briggs and Stratton Intek V-Twins. This is the twin cylinder engine, and I'm going to show you how to replace this here governor gear amongst some other stuff. So if your governor gear blew up like this one did, first thing you got to do is get all those pieces out, because this is what the new one looks like. Now, in the case of this one, it also broke the end of the camshaft, and this is what drives the oil pump. It broke that, and it also broke off one of the teeth and sheared a bunch of the other teeth here on the crankshaft gear. So not only do we got to replace the governor gear, we got to replace the camshaft and the crankshaft gear. Looks like my teeth. So the engine we're repairing is a Briggs & Stratton Intek V-Twin model 445777 with this type number and this code date. So this is an 05 engine. Now this is important. You need to know all this stuff when you're looking up your parts, because sometimes parts change and it has to go by the code date. In the case of this engine, that was true with the camshaft, because I was going to replace it with a good used camshaft if I had one. And I only had one junk engine, and it had a good camshaft in it. But guess what? There's a difference. And it said that when I went to look this one up.
Well, what's the difference, Taryl? Looks the same to me, other than that hole is in a different spot.
And you know what else is different? This is bigger in diameter than this on both ends. So even though this came out of another V-Twin Intek, this camshaft is different. These ends are too big, so this is not going to fit in this engine. Otherwise, I would have tried to save the customer money with this used cam. I don't have a used cam for this, so I had to buy the new one. And when I looked up the cam, it went by the code date. So that's how you can make a mistake easily when you're buying parts if you don't know what you're doing. That's why you need to go to the inner screen. Go to one of these online parts places like ProPartsDirect.net. They got free parts lookup diagrams on their website. That way you can look up the part. And you don't have to bother those poor people over there at ProParts because they don't know what part you need. They don't have a crystal ball. Well, I think they do have a crystal ball, but I think it's broken. So this is the new camshaft for this model engine. And the part number is 797242. Now when I looked this camshaft up, that part number had changed like 3 times to get to this one. And in this part too is, depending on where you buy it, could be pretty close to $100. And they give you a new set of lifters with it. Now look at this camshaft. Look at what they did. Now this original one from 05 is a cast. It's been casted, which is a good camshaft. This new one, look, it's all pressed together. And they added a compression release. Now there's a compression release on this, so this thing's going to start a lot easier. And in case you don't know how compression release works, these little bumps here are going to bump the valves on the engine to relieve the compression. And then when the engine starts, centrifugal force, when this spins, it's going to fling this lever out of the way. These little bumps are going to go away and quit bumping the valves open. And then when the engine stops, this will return to that position. And then when you crank the engine, it'll bump the valves again to make it start easier. So in our case, other than a governor gear, we needed a new camshaft. So this is going to be an expensive repair for this customer, only because it broke these other parts. Here's the new governor gear. And this kit is about $20-some. $793,338. And what comes in this kit is the new gear, this new cone, and a little clip. And of course, a love note from Briggs and Stratton. Let's read the love note.
Dear Taryl, we love that you're using our new governor gear. And we love you and we love your videos. Love, Briggs and Stratton.
No, it just tells you what governor spring to use. And again, see? There's your code date. If your engine was manufactured before and you're probably looking at that going, oh, how do I know when it was manufactured? Because of the code date, see? Code date, that's what that means. It's hard to believe that in the year 2020, most people still don't know how this stuff works off of part numbers and model numbers and serial numbers. Just go give me a part! We're going to need a sump gasket. And this comes in a kit. $594,195. This is close to $30 for this. And then since we're going to be having the sump off, we might as well put a new crankshaft seal in. $795,387. And we're going to have to pull the valve covers because we're going to have to pull the push rods out to get the cam out. And Stens makes these gaskets. There's the Briggs number, 690971. And there's the Stens number. You can get these from ProParts too. They're a Stens dealer. And then of course an oil, we're going to need oil and an oil filter because we're changing all that. So to remove the camshaft, like I said, you got to remove the push rods so you can take the spring tension off the lifters. Now I've already done all that to get this out of the way. And another thing that makes it easy to work on this on your bench is take that screen off. 4 screws, take that screen off. Now it sits nice and flat on your bench. And take the spark plugs out. So now when you need to crankshaft, turn the crankshaft with a pair of channel locks or vice grips, it'll be easy to do. Oh, and the crankshaft gear. Now that junk engine that I had, that I took this camshaft out of, that had a good crankshaft gear on it. So that part was able to rob. But if you need a new one, 690-980, and it's about 12 bucks. So now, get this governor gear off, the old one. All I do is, if yours is on there like that, just pop it up with a screwdriver, and then that little clip will come off. And then underneath is this washer. Now you don't get that new in that kit. So put that back on. And then take your new governor gear. This has already got oil on it because it's pretty oily. And you can drop that on. Then get your new clip. And all we want to do is just start it a little bit. So take this thing and kind of just push it on the shaft a little bit. Not all the way down. Now we need to lift this up, because we have to get these weights like this, see? These weights have to go in here, like that. Now we could drop it down, now we could push on this, and then that clip, there's a groove for that clip to go in, and it should snap in. And then when you pick up on this, see, it doesn't come off. And then the weights fly out like this, see? So that's how you install that governor gear, in case you're just, I just want to watch the video, just see how to put the gear in. I don't care about all that stupid camshaft and crankshaft gear and gaskets. So there, now you can stop watching. Alright, so our next step is put on our new crankshaft gear. So I am going to turn the crankshaft so I can have that little woodruff key facing me. I don't want it on the inside. Now it may fall out, so make sure you got your magnet on a stick so you can grab it out of there if you have to. And this gear, if you notice, it's got a dot on each side. So this gear is kind of dummy proof, symmetrical, it'll work either way. So a lot of times when you go to push this on, it pushes that little woodruff key out, then it falls in there, and then that's why you need the magnet and the stick. Well, I got lucky. Now we can turn that timing mark back up to the top. And see, by having that screen off, see, if you had that screen on there, the engine would be all over the place. So that's why you take the screen off and take the plugs out, so you're not fighting the compression and the little fan. So, need to get our kit, get our new lifters out, and we need to lubricate our lifters before we stick them in. And I'm going to use our gel lube, which we sell in our online store. This is good assembly, engine assembly lube. So I'm going to spray these, spray some gel lube on it. Get a little bit down there in that little divot, because that's where the push rod's going to go. And we'll put the lower ones in first. And then when you spray these things, you know, you can spray it inside the crankcase so you don't make a mess. gel loop can go inside. Now if you got sausage fingers, you can use a pair of needle nose pliers. Because those are like little skinny fingers. If you got sausage fingers. I know some of y'all got sausage fingers. Big old bratwurst size Italian sausage shaped fingers. Now spray a little on here on the end of the lifter, or tap it, whatever you want to call. And then we're going to spray some on here and some on the lobes, so we've got lubrication on there already. Get the lobes. Now find our timing mark and line that up with the mark on the crankshaft gear. Voila! Now it's in. Now I want to spray a little on here.
Taryl, you didn't show us how to take the engine apart.
Well, if your governor gear was broke, chances are you already had it apart. Taking it apart is easy. Just putting it back together, that's hard. For some of y'all. Alright. Now, make sure your gasket area is all nice and clean, oil free. Make sure you blow these holes out real good, because they do put a thread locker on it from the factory. So blow those holes out. Try to get that thread locker out of there. And carefully open this new gasket. Use a razor blade or a gasket scraper. Open it at the top. Be careful, because you can cut the gasket, or when you rip the bag open, you might rip the gasket up. That Briggs and Stratton, they just love giving me love notes. Here's another love note.
Taryl, again, we love you. Here's a note on how to install the gasket. Love you, love your videos.
So this is about installing the gasket. Basic, telling you. Telling you how much to torque it, the torque sequence. That's all in the kit. And bolts. Probably why it costs almost $30, depending on where you buy it. You might be able to find it cheaper somewhere. If you stole it, then that would be even real cheap. Lay the gasket on. Now we can put our sump cover on. Oh, get that past there. Yeah, watch that. You got these little heat shields, these little air deflector shields. Now our sump cover was real dirty, so you're going to want to clean it. If you don't have a parts washer, you know, you can get some kind of container, some kind of tray, put some kerosene in there, or soapy water. Ours was pretty dirty. We didn't want to put it back together with this dirty. Or maybe you don't care. You don't care, then just slap it back on all dirty. But I like to have it clean. Plus, we're going to have to put the new seal in. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it. So before we can reinstall this cover, we want to put a new seal in it, and we have to take the oil pump out. So just take a screwdriver and pop the seal out. Just simple as that. Clean it out real good in here. Take these 3 5/16 headed screws out. And then we're going to pop this cover off. And there's an O-ring in there. Now we don't need to replace that. You can if you want. I don't have the part number for it, but since I told you how to look stuff up, you could do that yourself. There, I gave you a little homework. But we could use that over because it is an O-ring. So we need to get this out. We'll use our magnet on a stick. And we need to get that shaft out of there. That oil pump shaft. Our gear looks like it's got a little wear on it from dirt, probably from not changing the oil often enough. It's starting to wear a groove in there. That's just some dirt. So yeah, we can leave that off. That's fine. Now we'll put our new seal in. So we got our new seal. Now some of y'all might have seal driving tools. But all you're going to need is this seal driving tool. It's called a hammer. So kind of hold it. And you want to tap on the edges here. Gently tap it down. Now there's a ledge in there. There's a shoulder for this to go on. So this isn't going to go down very far. So I found me a washer that's like that. That I'm going to tap on. It's easier to do it now like this than to pop the seal out, put the cover on, and slide the seal over the shaft and drive it in. It's easier to do it this way now. Alright, now we're ready. Want to make sure this is down. And our mating surface is all clean. Got all our gasket material off. Wiped off all our kerosene or water if you use soapy water. And we're going to want to put some gel lube on the lip of the seal or grease. You can use grease too. We want to gel lube up this journal on the crankshaft. Now we can drop the cover on, being careful not to roll the seal. Take a little screwdriver and you can kind of, there you go, get it started. Alright, so now we're down on top of the pins there, and oh, it dropped right in. Now, if it didn't drop in, take your channel locks and wiggle the crankshaft and it'll drop down. You don't want to force it. You don't want to use the screws to draw it down. You're going to break something. You shouldn't have to do that. The only thing you should do is wiggle it and it should drop right down in place. Now we can drop our oil pump shaft down in there and get it lined up with the slot in the end of the camshaft. Let's put it on like this. And now we can stick this in. There we go. Now we can stick our new bolts in. And I like to use a speed wrench to do this. You may not have a speed wrench, but you're not just going to take an impact or something and drive them in. So I like to back it up till I hear it click in. And go in with the speed wrench. Now if you meet a lot of resistance, then that means you did a bad job cleaning the holes out. Remember I told you got to blow the holes out real good. If you don't have a speed wrench, you're going to have to use a socket wrench and do it by hand. But I like to go back so I don't cross thread it till I hear that click. We're not done yet. Now we got to set the governor after we get this. So get them all snug down. And then do what it says on the love note. Follow the torque pattern. And torque it, to that sequence till you get to 325 inch-pounds. If you don't have inch-pounds, they also got this 37 NM if yours is on there. If not, you have to take 325 and divide it by 12. And that'll give you your foot-pounds. If you don't have a torque wrench at all, then just tighten them in that sequence until you think, you're tight, but don't tighten them so tight that you snap them off. If you snap one off, then you know you went too far. And then the other ones you do, just don't tighten them that tight. And then take it all apart and try to get that one out that you broke. But you don't have to do the sequence just to get them in here. Just, to get them down. You can do whatever you want. I just got them down to where they need to be. And then now I'm going to take my torque wrench and then I'll go around and torque them to the sequence. Now we can reinstall our oil pump cover if you haven't done so already. Just 3 screws. Now we can flip it up and we can put this lever, and then this spring goes into here. Make sure everything's there. Okay. Now if you notice, it's got a little hex on there, and I believe it's 1/4 inch. See, now it only moves that much. So this goes this way. See how this moves? So when that moves, this shaft has to move with it. Understand? So what we want is this all the way back this way towards us. And then we're going to tighten that nut. So you're going to put some tension on there. And then you're going to take your 7/16 socket. As we're pulling back on this, we want full throttle. And then tighten that down. And don't break the bolt. Okay. Now if you did it right, see, it'll move. Now if you went the other way and tightened it, this isn't going to move like this. It's going to be locked up because you went the wrong way. So now our governor's set. There's a lot to this, huh?
Oh, I thought it was going to be easy to replace this governor gear, but geez, this is a lot of work. I don't know if I want to tackle that. I think I'll just pay somebody.
And that's what a lot of people do. I'm gonna watch a YouTube video and fix that myself. And oh geez, that's a lot of work. I better just pay somebody. So now we gotta put our push rods in because we had the cam out. Now again, if you just wanted to replace the gear, you know, you wouldn't have had to do all that. You could have just popped it apart, put the gear in like I showed you, and then just reset the governor and put the gasket on. But since we had all kind of internal engine damage from that thing exploding, you know what else I seen? You know that shaft in the engine block that governor gear rides on? I've seen where that thing breaks right off. And guess what? Can't fix that. Briggs and Stratton don't sell that little rod separate. That comes with the block. Other manufacturers have a hole where you can drive that pin out. But usually that pin is in the sump cover. It's not in the engine block. So when it breaks that pin off, you're pretty much, that engine's done. So here's our push rods. We got 2 that are aluminum and 2 that are steel. The steel ones go on the exhaust side on this engine. The aluminum ones go on the intake side. Now, if you had bent push rods at some point, you could put a metal one on the intake side. I've done that before where I just eliminated these aluminum ones and just put metal ones in all the way around. But you don't want to use an aluminum one on the exhaust side because aluminum is a softer metal and it'll heat up faster and expand quicker. So that's why they want the aluminum on the intake side. Now we already sprayed the ends of our lifters with gel lube, so we could just stick it down in there. Now you may have to get a flashlight to make sure that you got the end of the push rod on the end of the lifter, because there is a hole down there and you could drop it and it could go inside the engine block. And then you'll be like, uh-oh. And then push on the, if you got strong enough strength, you can push on the valve spring and get it in there. So shine a light, make sure you're on the end. You'd hate to drop that thing down in there. There, push rods are on. Then do the same to the other side. So now that we've got those reinstalled, now we gotta check our clearance because we put new lifters in. So you're gonna wanna rotate the engine over until one of the valves is fully open. And then we wanna check the one across from it. Now, according to the chart, it should be between 4 and 6 thousandths of an inch. So I like to set it at 4. So here's 4 thousandths, and it's a little sloppy. So we're gonna need a Torx bit that fits in here, and that Torx bit size, not side, is a T40. Under the T40. The T40. Like we're playing bingo. Now, you may be able to turn it a little bit. If not, you're going to have to break that lock nut loose. Now see, I went too much. Still tight. We don't want it that tight. So that's good, right there. Now we'll turn it until this one's fully open. And we'll check this side. Now see, this one's tight. I can't even get one in there.
You're doing it wrong, Taryl. You're supposed to have both valves closed and the piston at top dead center.
Yeah, well guess what? This way also works. Look at your camshaft. Alright, so that cracked our nut loose. So now I got it there. Now we need a 1/2 inch wrench and our T40 to hold that from turning. Now we got to tighten that up. See what we got. All right, now it's loose. So now I'll take the T40 and I'll tighten it down. Yeah, that's good. Got a little bit of drag on it on that 4, and that's what we want. And then do the same to the other side. If you want to shine a light in a hole and bring the piston to top dead center and do all that, you go right ahead, but this is the way I do it. And you want me to explain why? I know you do. Because here's the lobe. Here's the lobes. So see all this part here? This is part of the lobe that's going to be when the piston's at top dead center. So if this one's open all the way, and the other lifter is over here, guess what? That's the same as if they were both at top dead center and the lifters were here. So it doesn't matter. Understand? Do you understand? I don't think you understand. Do you understand? Okay, got our new valve cover gaskets installed. Our valve cover's back on. Now all I gotta do is reinstall this screen on the flywheel and reinstall the engine, fill it with some dinosaur syrup, and as Elkskin says, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, shut up! I hear that in my head all the time, fire it up! Alright, now let's fire it up, fire it up, fire it up! Replacing that governor gear on this here Briggs & Stratton V-Twin Intek. So, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Taryl Fixes All. That's me, the handsome devil himself. Go to our web store, buy some Taryl apparel. You're going to need that Taryl apparel while you're doing the repairs on your lawnmowers and weed eaters and stuff. Follow me. Come on. Come on, follow. You can't follow me because you blew the governor gear on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! 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 Replace the governor gear and other parts that got destroyed.
Where were you at?
I was out in the field fixing Santa's sleigh.
Yeah, right, Pa. No, really, where were you?
Out in the field fixing fixing Santa's sleigh.
Whatever, Pa. Sounds like some second-rate Lifetime movie or something. Let me guess. Santa's sleigh broke down and you had to fix it, therefore saving Christmas, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But when you wake tomorrow, you're gonna have a bunch of presents waiting for you from Santa Claus.
All right, Pa. I'll believe it when I see it, but I ain't holding my breath. Oh, Santa! Look, Pa, it's Santa!
Yeah, I know, Junior. Just got done telling you. Just got done fixing the sleigh.
I just have one more question for you, Taryl. What weight oil do I run in that engine?
5W30 is what I'd be running this time of year, Santa Claus. It'll be easier to start since you're going to be up there at the North Pole.
Thanks again, Taryl. That's great. Oh, and don't forget to leave me some milk and cookies tonight. Will do, Santa. Hope you got me that RC car I've been asking for. Merry Christmas, you two. All right, bye. Santa was here, Pa. Did you see that? Whoa, it was really him, the real guy.
Yeah, Junior. I just got done telling you. I just got done fixing his sleigh out there in the field. Now he can deliver all the presents to all the little boys and girls.
Hey, look who it is. Everybody's favorite guy. So, heard you, did some work for Santa Claus. Fixed this 25 horsepower crawler for free. You know, the Easter Bunny needs help on his mower, too. I can't get it started and I need to, mow the grass around my hole. So what do you think?
I don't think so, Ronnie. I don't buy it that you're the Easter Bunny. Because you're not the Easter Bunny!
Oh, come on, Taryl. I got the ears, I got the teeth, I got the little fluffy tail. I need my mower fixed. For free.
You got about 5 seconds to get out of here. Before I stuff you down that rabbit hole.
All right, I'm going. But remember, Easter's right around the corner and I'll be back.
Merry Christmas.
And happy holidays.
And have a happy new year from all of us here at Grass Rat's Garage. And as always, there's your dinner.